Quick question. Would you put up with a cheating husband in exchange for money, status, the ideal life filled with all the trimmings? Well, here's a quick story of a woman who did just that. Yep, she sold her soul to the devil for the perfect life.
People think I didn't know about the cheating, but I always knew. People tried to warn me away, but I never allowed myself to be in a position where they could tell me. I had seen from my own parents that if you turned a blind eye to situations, to the ugliness of life, then it would go away. He was a year ahead of me in high school, and you see me, I'm okay. I'm petite, average looking, nothing remarkable about me physically, kind of bad skin even in high school that I covered up with excessive tanning. But I knew, even at 14, that Joel would be mine, and it wasn't exactly easy. He's tall, dark, and well, yes, handsome, so there were always other girls around, but I put myself in the right everything. I was engaging, but not too loud. I had the right clothes, drove the right car, hung out with the right people. It was the late 80s, so my hair was stylish, but not too big. I was always appropriately cute and tan and everything that a nice Midwestern boy from a wealthy Midwestern family would want. My parents always struggled financially, but you wouldn't have known. What little they did have was used to help my sister and me get exactly what we wanted. I made it easy for him. I called him. I was around when he needed help writing class papers. He was hopeless. I did all of his homework throughout our school careers, really. I found ways to make myself indispensable. Thanks to me, his grades were fine, but his SAT scores were terrible, so we only got into the local state school. I could have probably gone anywhere to college, but chose to follow him to that school. The year when I was still in high school and he was away at college was the hardest for us. I spent every weekend driving to see him, and I wasn't always welcome. I tried to make myself as indispensable as possible, cleaning up his dorm, doing his homework, bringing him things from home, whatever I could do. I made sure his parents loved me and that his friends felt like they could count on me too. There had always been evidence of other girls around, but I knew something they didn't. Joel was, and still is, really insecure. He knows that he needs support, though he'd never ask for it, and that's where those silly girls fell short. They didn't know the key to being with Joel was to support him in an unwavering way. I always knew that he had the charisma and family support and business connections to take him a long way. I found how I could wrap myself around his life, and as long as I was willing to look the other way during his drunken escapades, everyone from his affair with my college roommate that lasted 5 years, right under my nose and left her single for life, to his classmates, colleagues, and countless others, I knew that if I could just hold on and realize that these other girls, women now, were just fleeting moments of desire for him, I was always going to be his one true love because I understood him in ways that no one else did. Even in those early days, there were the pregnancies. One that he thought I didn't know about from a drunken night out at a bar, and one from my roommate that I eventually did find out about. I never wanted to talk about those situations. People tried to confront me, but I just smiled and didn't engage. And I was rewarded because I kept my man. Joel's parents had married while they were in college. And because at that point we'd been together for 8 years, Joel's father gave him the engagement ring. And we were married the summer after our senior year. It was a perfect wedding. Everyone from Joel's fraternity, everyone from my sorority, on a beautiful bright June day at the Museum of Art. We drove away in a limo while the DJ played Love and Marriage by Frank Sinatra. Like us, like our style, the whole event was a classic. We have a great life, one that I always wanted. Joel works in his family business. I became an elementary school teacher so that I could be home in the summers with our children, who are now 24 and 21. We've always had a beautiful home, beautiful things, incredible vacations. Maybe from the outside, it looks like I've made a deal with the devil. And maybe in some ways, I have. I once read in a woman's magazine that if your relationship is happy 80% of the time, then you have a solid partnership. And that's how I've always thought of us. If you want to be with someone who has a big personality, who is charismatic, charming, and handsome, you're going to need to find ways to wrap yourself around his life and to build a life for him. I'm not sure how I knew that at 14, but that's the life I've built. And I have to say, we've been pretty happy together.